freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 446 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by azfirearmsauctions.com, where you set the price on guns, ammo, and accessories. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is pistol practice, and our guest is John Kolis. John is the author of Pistol Practice, the Shooting Range Guidebook that teaches you how to practice.
Nice.
John is an Air Force veteran, longtime recreational shooter, and an NRA and USCCA certified instructor with extensive classroom and one-on-one teaching experience.
Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you for having me, Cheryl.
Absolutely. We met at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas. This is, what are we at? May 28th, 2024. So it was 5 months ago.
I know.
I am so glad our calendars are finally aligning and you agreed to come on and talk about your book.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So there are lots of tools and books and videos about, shooting safer, shooting better, shooting more accurate. What makes your book, can you hold it up for us? What makes Pistol Practice unique and different and a book that everybody must have?
Well, I like the way you phrased that. Well, it's primarily because it's not a book about how to shoot. It's about how to practice. I always felt like, we all got attracted to the book that said how to shoot like a Navy SEAL, right?
Okay.
Or how to shoot like an NRA champion. Well, that's it's a hard goal to achieve. And I think it's hard to teach someone how to shoot, to do something physical in a book. But I can teach you how to practice, how to get the most out of your time at the range, how to ensure that each trip to the range is fun, productive, and contributing to strong fundamentals.
That is so important. And, if you're going to practice, a friend of mine says, are you just practicing the same wrong things over and over again? Or are you actually improving? And I think the distinction he makes is, are you practicing or are you training? And so if you're practicing to get better, then that is training, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the tenets of USCCA, right? Is that training is learning of a new skill and practicing is reviewing that skill in a contextually relevant manner, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm seeking to teach people what are the best practices of an effective session at the range. I do think it should be fun. I think if every time you go to the range, it feels like going to the gym, which for some people is a joy, but for
Yeah, not me.
others, we don't love going to the gym. I think you should want to go. It should be fun, whether it's something you're doing fun with your partner or your child or your range buddy, or even if it's a solo activity for you, you should want to go. And if you take pistol practice and maybe peruse it, pick out the chapter the night before that you want to do, and then prepare, the ammunition, the magazines, the target. The book includes a PDF of printable targets and score sheets. So it's not an armchair book. Pistol practice is 6x9 and it fits in your range bag easily, spiral bound, so you can flip it over and reference it in the shooting stall. It's meant to be consumed. So it comes with score sheets and it comes with targets that you can print out. So you prep the night before and say, well, I haven't been to the range in 2 weeks. So tomorrow I really want to work on my reloads and my gun handling. and there's a chapter for that. If you feel like I haven't been as precise lately, tomorrow's a precision day. Well, there's a chapter for that. And it's about purposeful practice and giving you the tools to do it.
That is fantastic. You know, as Dan read in, you're an Air Force veteran. Thank you for your service.
It was my honor to serve.
And, you know, that precision and, you know, that level of excellence, I always think of military type things when those kind of ideas and words come to mind. Where did you get the idea? And when did you come up with this idea for the book?
Shooting became part of my weekly or daily life about 16 years ago. My father taught me how to shoot as a young boy in upstate New York, and I have the fondest memories, like so many of us do, especially our generation, right? You had your 22, you went out in the woods with a parent or a relative, and it was a joyful experience, and marksmanship was something that we valued, you know, as an American value, right? It's something that to aspire to. Well, I lost my dad, but I saved the rifle. And as my son was turning 10, I thought, I want to share that experience with Jack. So I went and got my LTC, because I live in Massachusetts, and that's something we have to do here. And then for myself, I said, well, in addition to teaching Jack, you know, how to be a responsible gun owner and basic marksmanship with the 22, I really wanted to give myself time behind a handgun, because in all my years of shooting here and there, it wasn't a focus. It was always long gun and maybe some pheasant hunting with friends, things like that. So as I spent more and more time at the range and more time at the club, frankly, I watched other people, and I saw a lot of my friends and other range goers just loading magazines to capacity, and I dare say seemingly sending rounds down range without rhyme or reason. Maybe they were having fun, great, that's good. Maybe they were just relaxing, that's good too. But there didn't seem to be a pattern, and too many of them appeared to be permanent members of the low left society, right? And so I have
been there. I have been part of that society.
Have you left that society? We all start there. So as largely a self-taught shooter, I'm fortunate to live just an hour south of SIG Academy. So that's just a great resource to have.
Awesome.
But largely self-taught. And so being an organized person, maybe it's that military background, I had set up exercises for myself. I had developed targets and drills to do and patterns of shooting that helped me. And then as I started teaching, I became first an NRA instructor, then USCCA, and I was helping more and more people. I was sharing my exercises and drills with them. And I thought, I think I've got something here. So when my career in technology ended and my children were older, I finally had time to finish the book, which I had started a few times as an outline and then finally brought it to fruition just 2 years ago.
Awesome. That is fantastic. You know, at some point in my life, I keep saying I'm going to write a book, but I don't have a passion for the topic. You know, like what's the thing I'm going to write about? I have a variety of things that I could write about. And so for you to have that focus that stayed consistent, it was
a surprise to me, Cheryl, because I too always thought I'd write a book. I always thought I'd write a novel, something of historical fiction, and I ended up writing a book on shooting. And if you told me, you know, 15 years ago, oh, someday you'll write a book on shooting and travel around the country promoting it, I'd be like, I think you got the wrong guy. But it's been nothing. It's been nothing but great. I've met the most wonderful people.
I love it.
It's interesting. I mean, you know, you think I've been shooting all my life, and I really haven't had any instruction on how to shoot. And maybe I'm doing it wrong.
You might be.
Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Maybe not wrong, but you could be doing it so
better,
much
right? And
better.
so listening to, you know, reading the book might give me some ideas.
Absolutely. Well, we have a
Maybe I
copy
can
at home, so
maybe I can outshoot you.
No. The the gauntlet has been thrown. So, and I know
Well,
how to read too.
challenging a friend is a great way to learn. It keeps you motivated. It gives you a goal, right? Which is one of the tenets of pistol practice. Have an
Absolutely.
objective and keep score.
Absolutely. Um, and so off air, you were talking to us about one of the things that comes with the book that is kind of one of those,
Oh,
really helping you dial it in and maybe to compete. What were those things that
well, the cover of the book is the split playing card.
mhm.
And that is a shot I've made, but I'm not alone. Many of us have done it. I think the best shot I did was I did it at 21 feet with a Ruger Mark III. So I've actually split the playing card with a 22. And I consider that something I could do when I was in peak form. But if you don't practice regularly, that's going to be hard to do.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
for the book cover, I blasted it with a 45 at 3 feet because I
You
needed a book
wanted
cover.
that, yeah, that dramatic
But
look of being split from the side. So what do you send
right.
with the book when someone
Well, I
buys it?
shipped 2 branded playing cards.
I love it.
I can't promise you'll get, an ace and a king. You might get aces and eights, or you might get a 2 and a 3. But to ensure everyone has a chance without disturbing, domestic harmony by ruining someone's cribbage deck, I shipped 2 books, 2 cards with each book.
I love it.
Wow.
That's a brilliant idea because then if I did it, of course, I'm going to share that on social media because bragging rights, and then I'm going to tag you. So I think that's a brilliant marketing
Well, I would love that.
idea you
I
have
I
I
there.
really
think
thought of it just as a way of giving somebody a target. I didn't think about it from marketing, but I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I think I could shoot a 50 caliber at 0 yards and hit that target.
You think you
That's
can manage that?
that's about it. Yeah. But I did
Just
shoot,
destroy the card.
I shot at a mile once and
Wow.
hit the target at a mile with one shot. But I had really good instructors. I had
Yeah.
really good
Spotters.
spotters that
Yeah.
taught me how to do it. So, but I don't think I could split a card. Maybe I could
We
I
should
poke a
try.
hole in the center of it, but
We should try. I
yeah.
love it. So as I mentioned, we did meet originally at SHOT Show. That was your first time. We've been going for a, decade and a half or something. But tell me about your experience engaging this world of that we loosely call the Second Amendment community.
Uh, I've got nothing but great things to say and nothing but appreciation for all the members of the 2A community. I have found everyone welcoming, not just at SHOT Show, Cheryl.
Mhm.
As I dipped my toe, I mean, I write this book and I'm approaching it like, an entrepreneur that's selling a widget.
Mhm.
But I was lucky to go to SHOT Show because of a good friend of mine, Charlie Cook, Riding Shotgun with Charlie, a podcast who you probably know.
Love
Uh,
him.
he lives very close to me, and that was one of the first podcasts that I did. And it was actually Amanda Suffolk who introduced Charlie and I. And I think
Love her.
we all love Amanda, and we all know of her Olympic rings analogy, right? That
Please tell it.
the 2A community is like Olympic rings. They're all connected, but the upper left ring might not know the lower right ring, but we're all connected.
Perfect.
And one person introduces you to another. And from Amanda to Rob Beckman, Firearm Trainers Podcast, to you, just one positive, encouraging, supportive experience after another.
Love
I,
that.
I honestly believe that the 2A community is comprised of people. It's easy to say we're like-minded, but I think even more fundamentally, there is a shared base of core values.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit of do unto others,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a bit of if I can help you, well, then why wouldn't I? And there's plenty of people that are crazy busy. I've met influencers with, 1 million followers and people that we've all seen on TV, and every one of them took their time to shake my hand and chat me up. Right. So it's just been heartwarming and in many ways rejuvenating one's faith in our American society. And
Boy,
then
that's so well said.
on the other hand, boy, going to SHOT Shows like being a kid in a candy store. I haven't had that much fun since I was, 10 years old at FAO Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a scene.
Yeah, it really is. Every year when I go and I look at how many people are there from all over the globe, right? This isn't
Right.
just,
That's true.
people from Nevada or just even people from neighboring states or just from across the United States, from all over the entire world. They are exactly who you just described. They are decent, friendly, polite, helpful, just the best hearted people you'd ever want to meet. And, kind of a snapshot of Americana, even though they're from all
Right.
over the world, right? With that value system of freedom and individual liberties and all of that. And then I compare that to how we are portrayed in the news all the time, or from the other side that hates the whole idea
Yeah.
of guns. And they say they're for gun safety, but they're not writing these kinds of books, right? And I think if they really could open their mind, if they could just walk these halls for one day, just a couple of hours even, it would be such a challenge to them um, to hold that negative opinion and that negative view. So I love how you
But
describe
wait, all those guns with no firing pins are going to get me,
that. That's true.
right?
Well,
But
education
you
is
touch
key.
on, I think my second passion within our 2A community, you just touched on it, which is, I think the primary role of all of us in 2A is to be an ambassador for 2A. And this is particularly true for instructors.
Mm.
Okay. One of my favorite adages in life is you can be right or you can be successful. It's lucky when you get to be both.
Yeah.
So when I'm greeting people in a basic firearms training class or a first-time shooters range experience class, yes, my primary goal is safety, but that's initially transparent to them. My goal is to make them feel welcome and to give them an outstanding firearms experience. I want them to leave saying, that's not at all what I expected. Right.
Absolutely. And that is the key right there, is inviting new people in.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and on that point, you do have a pistol practice affiliate instructor program. So we could have even more people out there being wonderful ambassadors. Talk to us about what that is exactly.
Well, again, and someone else in our 2A community, can I give a plug to Doreen and Jim Hankins, their Cloud Bedrock,
Absolutely.
which is 2A friendly software that would help a lot of businesses. They said, John, instructors are looking for classes to teach. Pistol practice, you have content that you could share. So I hadn't thought about it that way, right? I was initially the widget maker. I created a book and I wanted to sell the book. And Doreen said, you need to think about your intellectual property. You need to think about your knowledge base. So I created a class called Pistol Practice. And it's a way for gun shops, firearm businesses, individual instructors to teach people the fundamental skill of how do you practice? So it's a 2-hour class and everyone gets a copy of the book, and you're going to teach them how to use pistol practice, how to use the book, and how to get the most out of their time at the range. And so I basically receive applications from instructors who are interested in becoming an affiliate. I basically see if this is somebody I want to work with, if they represent my values, if they share my values, and most often they do. And then I train them on how to deliver the class, and I provide them with the flyers and the PowerPoint slide decks and the training materials and they sell the class in their local market. And the deal is, as long as everyone gets a copy of the book, we're good. And they buy the books from me.
Very cool. I
And
love
I
that idea.
currently have about 36 affiliates across the country and growing.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully after this show, you'll have even more.
Yeah. So John,
I'd love
how
that.
do they buy your book?
www.pistolpractice.com. Just all one word, pistolpractice.com. The book is available through there. And Cheryl and I created a coupon code for this podcast. So GFR earns them 10% off.
Awesome.
Fantastic. That's so generous. Thank you for that.
And what about if
Happy
they
to.
wanted to go do that program?
Just email John at pistolpractice.com and I'll get right back to you. John at pistolpractice.com.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And then, of course, every one of our guests, you will have your own guest page on our website, GunFreedomRadio.com. And so
Thank you.
we'll put that link on there as well. John, thank
put
you
the
so
code.
much. And yes, for sure.
Definitely
we'll
put the code on there. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. And I'm
Oh,
so
thank you.
excited we were able to line our calendars up. Just as we go out, is there anything that folks need to know that we didn't cover?
Wow. I don't think so. The book isn't just for new shooters. I would say that. I do think if people are new to shooting, it's almost a must-have along with a cleaning kit. But the way the book is structured, the score sheets are effectively a training rubric. So, the beginner might shoot, let's say, chapter 1 in the upper left quadrant of the score sheet, but an intermediate shooter would be challenged in the lower right. So I'd say from beginner through advanced intermediate, there's plenty to do there. And if you shoot every permutation at every distance in each chapter, it'll take you about a year and 3,000 or 4,000 rounds. So it's great for Father's Day. It's a good gift. It's great for date night. It's got a lot of uses. So it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope to follow up with some of your listeners.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you again, John Kolis. We will definitely be talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye, John. That's interesting that, you never think about that maybe I would shoot better if I would follow some advice and instruction.
Well, I think about it all the time.
Oh, I know you do. I know.
But I like to read. I like to, and I do enjoy taking training. And there is always something about it that, it's like stepping on the scale, right? You don't want to see what that scale says. But the three things that will never lie to you is your scale, your dog, right? Because your dog's gonna always love you no matter what. And your target.
And your husband.
At the end, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your husband.
Mm-hmm. That's 4. I meant to say 4. And so sometimes you don't want to see what that scale or what that target says. But once you do, you just use it as a baseline, right? Okay, it is what it is. Now, how do I start being intentional about, making it look more like what I want it to? And that's where the fun part is, but that first initial thing, you are right. It is not always the most alluring piece of it. Like, okay, not only am I going to see what my target tells me, but I'm going to do it in front of an instructor who's, has a level of excellence that I haven't achieved. Right. Well, thank goodness, because otherwise, why are you out there if you're not out there to learn? It's like when I was going to school, I needed to see what my instructors, my teachers would say about my level of skill so that I could gain more skill with time. So anyway, love it. I'm excited.
Speaking of shooting, it gets hot in Phoenix, and sometimes I'm shooting and it's all sweaty.
Yeah.
And I can't hold my gun.
Yeah. Are you trying to lead me up to something?
No.
Yes, he is. That we have
what do you got?
Some of our very good friends, the Hills, have created this wonderful product called Locked In Grip. It is a liquid shooting sports chalk. So yes, it is getting hot and sweaty out there. We are in May, the month of May, almost in the month of June. And, it doesn't even get really humid here in Arizona, but a lot of places across the nation it does. But it's still hot here in Arizona. And, you don't want to lose that grip on your firearm. It's a safety issue, it's an accuracy issue. And so Locked In Grip is a no slip, better traction, heightened connection. It's a liquid chalk for safer, faster shooting. Please go to lockedingrip.com. It is made for shooters by shooters. Get yourself some and your favorite shooting buddy, especially if you're competing. You want to have an even playing field. That's lockedingrip.com.
So I went shooting.
Yeah.
And now I come home, I took a shower.
Yeah.
Oh, so nice too. And then I am starving. I want a good old American steak.
Oh, yeah? Well, I
do.
can help with that too, because we do like American-made products that support American jobs on American soil. And Riverbend Ranch is where we've been buying all of our beef, the ground beef, the steaks, and they are absolutely fantastic. And the only way you can get that is to join this invitation-only private shopping club at patriothousehold.com/GFR for Gun Freedom Radio. Yes, it is an affiliate code. Yes, we do get a tiny piece of every dollar you spend. And also the Second Amendment Foundation gets a tiny piece of every dollar you spend to help fuel the work that they do fighting lawsuits all across this nation to support our Second Amendment. But this shopping club, from laundry soap to hair products to delicious snacks to the steaks we're talking about, anything that you normally go to those big box stores, you can cut the cord on those entities that use every dollar that you spend to work against our individual liberties. So you can go online at patriothousehold.com/GFR. You can order as you need it. Or what I like to do is I set my order and I walk away from it. I forget about it. And then magic happens and it arrives at my doorstep. And it couldn't be more convenient. I love it. Supporting my fellow Americans. It's quality, it's convenience. patriothousehold.com/GFR. Thank you so much to our amazing guest, John Kolis, to all of our amazing viewers and listeners, wherever there is internet on this globe. We have people who are very interested and passionate about the subject matter experts that we bring to the airwaves. So if you want to rewatch this video or any of our videos, go to YouTube, GunStreamer, or to the smartphone apps called Ops Lens. When you go to these places, please click the notifications and the subscription, because that gives us a hedge against being canceled. And it tells those entities that you value this information. So if you want to listen to the audio only version, you can go straight to our website, GunFreedomRadio.com. Click the on demand tab and
binge listen to the Heart's Content. I just throwing you off.
I'm like dead air space.
I'm throwing you off.
Binge listen to your heart's content, darling. And if you want to find the links to the works and the books that all of our guests, including John Kolis, have produced, then click the guest tab. There's a huge body of information there that's ever growing. And when you spend time there, we don't hate that. All right. Until next time, Dan, what are we going to do?
I want to pray for our nation.
What else are we going to do?
Pray for our elected officials.
That's true. And people in leadership positions, for sure. What about the ones that we're not so happy with?
Yeah, right.
We're going to pray
what about them?
for
What
them.
about them? What about them, Cheryl?
We're going to pray for them too, maybe especially for the ones we don't like. Until next time, please be good to each other. Have a great week, and God bless.
Bye-bye.